Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and I have a confession to make. I love Mexican food, and I'm proud of it. Mexican food is just some of the stuff that you can, you just eat it and you're happy. And there's so many different varieties of Mexican food, and that's why the dish we're gonna make in the Instant Pot right now is not only super easy to make, but it also complements practically any Mexican dish you make, whether it be tacos, burritos, fajitas. Guys, we're talking refried beans, and they're gonna be, like I said, ridiculously easy. So less talk, more show, Jeffrey, and let's just get right into it and begin and show you how simple it is to make refried beans right in your Instant Pot. We're going to start with a large Spanish onion, minced up real good. And if your fingers don't work with instant snapping and cutting, then just use like a food processor to make it really minced, or you can just really finely dice it by hand with a knife. Now, if you've been watching a lot of my videos, you'll notice that in a lot of my recipes, I typically use a jarred crushed garlic. But today, I'm going to be using 4 cloves of it because I'm going to want to smash it with the flat edge of a knife and then chop it up. It's really going to infuse the flavor of the beans when we cook them later. So there we go, crushed and coarsely chopped, and now we're going to add those right to our onions in the bowl. Now I'm going to take a 4-ounce can of diced green chilies that are fire roasted. They're mild, by the way, these are not spicy. And I'm going to add those to our onions and garlic. And I'm going to add all the liquid from the can in there as well. In our pot, I'm going to add about 1/8 of a cup of canola oil. You could use vegetable oil too, but I suggest canola oil. And a 1/2 tablespoon of bacon grease, which I've reserved from cooking many batches of bacon. And I'm going to use that as well and mix it with the oil. Now, if you don't have bacon grease, don't worry about it. Just use 1/4 of a cup of the canola or vegetable oil. But since I'm using some bacon grease, I'm halving the oil. All right, let's go to our pot and let's go down to saute. Hit it so we're on the high function, don't worry about the time, and just hit start and wait for that to read hot. And now that we're reading hot, we're going to add our onions, garlic, and peppers to the pot. And then we're going to stir that all in so it's all mixed up with the oil and the bacon grease if you're using bacon grease. And we're going to let it set there and stir occasionally for about 5 minutes until the onions become just slightly browned in color. Not brown, but just a little bit of color given to them. And once the veggies have cooked for about 5 minutes, we're going to add 4 cups of water, 2 cups of dried pinto beans, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. Kosher salt's really the best kind of salt to use. And 3 bay leaves. Stir everything up nice and good together. And now let's get our lid on top. And we're already in sealing position on the Ultra. We're gonna come down here, I'm gonna hit cancel, and we're gonna go up to pressure cook on this, guys. And we're gonna select that, and we're gonna go for 35 minutes. And it's gonna be on high pressure, so then just hit start. And this is gonna take 30 minutes of cooking time, and then we're gonna allow a 30-minute natural release when we're done with this. So it's gonna be about an hour of cooking time when all said and done, 1 hour and 5 minutes. And because we have an hour and 5-minute cook time for this, guys, you can do whatever you want in between. You could do some chores, you could read a book, you could walk the dog. I'm gonna be going to the gym and just hit a quick workout in there. It's gonna be right down the street, so it's easy for me to do that living in the city. And then I'm gonna come right back and these beans are gonna be done. We're gonna move on to the next step. And our pin just dropped, so let's get the lid off. And there's our beautiful beans. All right, let's get those bay leaves out of there now. And then just discard them. Now, taking a potato masher, and isn't this one fancy, we're going to press down on our beans inside the pot within the cooking liquid. And you're going to see that some of the beans in the liquid will separate now, which is fine. Now, if you want your refried beans to be a little bit thicker, just take a serving spoon and remove some of the liquid, and then you can add it back later if you want it to be a little creamier. But just begin to mash inside the pot, and remember, the more mashing you do, the more pureed it'll be. The little bit less mashing you do with a little bit more of a give to it, you're going to have more beans in there, kind of just like this. I like mine just like this, where it's a mix between the best of both worlds, some creaminess, some beans. And again, you can remove some of that liquid before mashing if you want it a little bit thicker, but remember, it's going to thicken as it cools down as well. Okay, so now let's add in a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of seasoned salt, and our secret ingredient, a cup of cotija cheese. This is the same cheese I use in my Mexican street corn. And we're going to mix all that together. And not only is the cotija cheese going to add in a wonderful element of flavor, but it's also going to act as a thickening agent and really meld and bring everything all together with these refried beans. I absolutely love it with some cotija cheese. And after a few moments of stirring around, we're going to transfer our delicious refried beans to a serving bowl. And check out this consistency, guys. It's not too thin, it's not too thick, it's creamy from mashing some of the beans in there, and it's chunky from reserving from mashing some of the beans in there. Just how I like it. Again, if you want it to be a little thicker, just remove some of the liquid before you begin mashing. But like I said earlier, the longer that it sits out and begins to cool, the thicker it's going to get. So the choice is yours in terms of thickness. It can be very subjective to people's tastes. Alright, I'm going to serve this up right now. Actually, I'm going to eat it right out of the bowl because I can't wait to try it. Alright guys, let's try it out. Now, I already love the consistency of these beans because they're not going to be those thick, sludgy, dried out refried beans that are so common. These are creamy and they're thick at the same time. So let's just give it a little bit of a try. Yeah. These are magical beans, you see. No beanstalks are going to come out of them, thankfully, because that would not be a good thing. We don't want giants coming and wreaking havoc on all of us. I'm telling you, if I had a sack of these beans and I was walking in the woods and someone came up to me and offered me 5 gold pieces, I'd say, peace out. No way. Get your own. I mean, look at these refried beans, how they cascade off the spoon, just how refried beans should be, in my opinion. We don't want them too thick because then they dry out, and these are the perfect consistency. And as you can see, it's totally a set it and forget it recipe. I went to the gym for crying out loud. I mean, I'm eating refried beans afterwards, but you know, I need the energy, right? They're absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, that cotija cheese is an amazing extra ingredient to add to the beans because it really, I feel like, brings it all together. We have the onions, the green chilies in there, the garlic, everything mixed with the beans. It's absolutely sensational. These beans aren't just great as a side. You can eat them as a main dish. They're that good and they're that filling. They're also going to go perfect with pretty much any Mexican dish or anything in general because they go with anything, in my opinion. They're fabulous. They're amazing. Guys, if you like easy-to-follow video recipes, just go to PressureLockCooking.com. I have tons of them there. I have over 65 recipes now, and it's just going to keep on growing and growing. You can pin any recipe you want just by hovering over one of the photos on each recipe page, pinning it to any board. Go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/PressureLockCooking. I have tons of content there. Like the page. Go to my YouTube, subscribe there. I have it all, Instagram, everything. Thank you so much again. And I'm telling you now, these refried beans are going to turn any siesta into a fiesta. See.